Have you ever imagined waking up with absolutely nothing demanding your time? No alarm, no meetings, no boss waiting for you. Only one simple question. What feels right today? For almost all of human history, that wasn't a vacation. That was simply life. For hundreds of thousands of years. Then everything changed. Today, many people spend most of adulthood working. Week after week. Year after year. But our ancestors followed a completely different rhythm. Not because life was easy. Because survival rewarded flexibility. Their days weren't controlled by a schedule. They were guided by nature instead. Instead of checking the time, you watched the sky. Clouds told their own story. Birds often knew things before people did. The wind carried information. Fresh animal tracks. Broken branches. Tiny footprints. Nature was constantly talking. You simply learned how to listen. But here's the surprising part. Scientists wanted to know, how much time did survival really require? The answer shocked them. It wasn't every day. Food wasn't chased from sunrise to sunset. Many days ended early. Not because people were lazy. Because gathering more than you needed often made no sense at all. So, what happened after food was already secured? Life didn't suddenly become empty. It became creative. Someone repaired a spear. Someone wove stronger baskets. Others shaped stone into sharper tools. Every new skill made tomorrow a little easier. Practice wasn't homework. It was part of everyday life. Knowledge moved from person to person. Not from books. But by watching. Trying. Failing. Trying again. The entire camp became a classroom. Even children had important roles. Not because they were forced. Because helping meant belonging. And belonging was every bit as valuable as food. But survival was never a solo mission. Humans survived because they survived together. Sharing wasn't generosity. It was insurance. Tomorrow, luck could change. So everyone invested in friendships. Conversation became survival. Trust became currency. Long before money existed. Then came the quiet hours. Children invented games. Adults laughed just as much. Some decorated their tools. Others decorated themselves. Beauty already mattered. Not for status, but for expression. As the sun disappeared, the fire became everyone's living room. And that's where the real stories began. Night changed everything. Darkness slowed the body. But it awakened the imagination. People remembered incredible journeys. Legendary hunters. Clever animals. Impossible adventures. Long before writing existed, stories became living libraries. Every generation became the next chapter. But humans didn't only tell stories. They made music. They danced. They laughed together. Those moments built something invisible. Trust. Belonging. Identity. These were the foundations of every civilization that would come later. Then, one discovery changed human history forever. Someone planted a seed and decided to wait. For the first time, food was tied to one place. People stopped wandering. Villages slowly appeared. Then villages became towns. More food meant more people. More people needed even more food. The cycle had begun. Life became more predictable, but also more demanding. Fields couldn't harvest themselves. Seeds had to be planted. Weeds had to be removed. Harvests had to be protected. For the first time, your survival depended on a schedule. And humanity would never live the same way again. As settlements grew, not everyone needed to gather food anymore. Someone became the best toolmaker. Someone mastered pottery. Others became builders. Each person became known for one skill. That made life more efficient. But it also changed identity. People were no longer simply members of a tribe. They became defined by what they produced. Generation after generation, children inherited professions. Skills became expectations. Communities became societies. Societies became civilizations. Civilizations needed organization. Organization created responsibility. Responsibility slowly became obligation. And without anyone noticing, the first version of a job had quietly arrived. Work slowly became something you owed, not only to yourself, but to an entire community. Then communities became kingdoms. Kingdoms created rules. Rules required records. Records created administration. Administration created occupations. So, most people could no longer choose every morning. The day had already been decided. Wake up, work, sleep, repeat. It wasn't a bad life. It was simply a different way of being human. But one final transformation was still waiting, and it would reshape every human life forever. Thousands of years passed. Farming remained the center of life, until another revolution arrived. This time, machines joined the workforce. Production exploded. Cities expanded faster than ever. Millions left the countryside. A new routine replaced the old one. The sun no longer set your schedule. The clock did. Hours became measurable. Time became money. Productivity became a number. The modern job had officially arrived. And today, most of us call this normal life. But history tells a much bigger story.